Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind That. It's your girl, Miss K. So today we're going to be going over the latest episode of Greenleaf, episode number 7 from season 5, called The Seventh Day. All right, guys, it is Wednesday and I just finished watching it, so let's get into it. Whew. All right, so this episode starts off with Grace bailing Darius out of jail. So thank God Darius is okay, right? He wasn't kidnapped. Instead, he was falsely accused of driving under the influence and for resisting arrest. And even though he spent the night in jail, Darius is still on a mission and tells Grace he's on his way to speak to the family that can confirm Mr. Shabazz's story. Grace also tells Darius that she has a meeting with Aaron because Jacob told her that when City on a Hill mergers and acquisitions bought him and Carissa's land, they didn't disclose that they were H&H. So Grace is hoping that this information could be used as something to keep them from tearing the church down. Next, Bishop brings Lady May her old engagement ring, hoping that she would say yes to moving up the wedding. But here comes Lady May with her conditions, okay? She's saying that her and Bishop need to be on one accord before they get married. She tells Bishop that they should sell the land north of the road and give Tara the money. But Bishop tells Lady May that any kind of money they give to Tara would be as though he's admitting to setting the fire, and he's not down with that. So Lady May says, okay, then we'll just have to wait till Flag Day to get married. And I don't know why Lady May is playing with Bishop. You know what I mean? Like, just marry the man already. I'd like to also say that Bishop had a point that anything given to Tara can be viewed as hush money. Next, Zora goes to Jacob and asks as if she doesn't remember anything about what they talked about the day before. This chick didn't even bother to cancel her flight, okay? On top of that, she started looking for an apartment and found one in Bushwick. Now, guys, I'm from Brooklyn myself, okay? Which is where Bushwick is located, and that's the hood, okay? Now, I don't know if they gentrified it since I left a few years ago, but it's not the best place for Zora to start, all right? So as a country girl moving to New York, Zora should really consider moving in with someone who knows the place, you know what I mean? Because if not, she's going to get swallowed up. Anyway, Jacob had to tell her to cancel her flight and be patient. Next, Grace goes to Calvary with Aaron, and she tells Phil and Judy that they have to cease and desist until further notice. Then Aaron tells them that they have a temporary injunction in place while the judge reviews their claim to real estate fraud. So Fernando speaks up and tells them that Carissa knew that they were affiliated with H&H, and she was quite comfortable with the fact. So Grace calls Jacob and asks him to verify with Carissa if she knew about it. Then Noah shows up and tells Grace that he found the caretaker of Mrs. Davis's estate. Next, Lady May sits with Tara again, and she offers her the land that she was telling Bishop about earlier. But Tara lets her know that it isn't going to be enough for Rochelle. Tara says Rochelle wants the bishop to admit what he did. She says Rochelle wants the bishop brought low. Then she tells Lady May that she doesn't want to throw her out the house, but it's her and Rochelle's father who died in the fire, and her and Lady May are not in this together. So Lady May says, well, then I don't see how this ends. And Tara says, neither do I. Next, Jacob calls Carissa and finds out that she knew City on a Hill was affiliated with H&H when they were selling their land. And Jacob was definitely pissed because that was a very important factor in their cease and desist. But for me, I was wondering if it would matter that only Carissa knew about it and not Jacob. And if the affair Carissa had with Fernando would change things. You know what I mean? Like, would it hold up in court that Carissa didn't tell Jacob this because she was sleeping with Fernando and trying to keep things on the hush-hush, you know? If y'all get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, next, Bishop tries to get AJ to accept Jesus into his life, but AJ says, maybe, but not today. Now, when AJ asked Bishop what he has to do to become saved, I thought for sure he was about to give his life to the Lord, but he said not today instead. So Bishop tells him it's no rush, but it's easier than building a car. And I will say this, guys, making the decision to get saved is always urgent, in my opinion, because you never know when Jesus will come back. I just had to say that as a Christian, okay? Next, Grace and Noah visit Mrs. Davis's old caretaker, and he tells them that Daryl James and Mrs. Davis argued all the time. He tells them that he was surprised that a poor Negro could talk to a rich white woman like that. But Miss Davis allowed Daryl to walk all over her. So after Grace asked the caretaker if he thought Miss Davis and Daryl James were lovers, he came out and told Grace and Noah that Daryl was Miss Davis's son. Now, this did not surprise me at all, guys, because I already had a feeling that there may have been a family connection between the two. But this is bad news for the Greenleafs because it just proves that the first will makes that much more sense. So Grace goes home and tells Bishop and Lady May the news, and Charity too. So Bishop says, I should have known. Call Tara and Rochelle and tell them to come over here right away. So when the ladies get there, Lady May tells them about their discovery, and she tells Rochelle and Tara that if a blood test proves this to be true, then the house is theirs. But Rochelle says she doesn't want the house. She wants the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Then Jacob comes downstairs to tell his parents that Charity sent an email to the whole congregation telling them to come down to Calvary if they want to hear the truth about Bob Whitmore. So Bishop says to Rochelle, you want to hear the truth? Come down to the church. So when they get to the church, Bob is already in there trying to sweet talk the people and tell them that Edenville lending was about helping people. But Grace and Darius come in to put him on blast about what Edenville lending was really all about. But before that, Darius let Grace know that the family he spoke with confirmed Mr. Shabazz's story and that CBS will cover the story. So when Mrs. DeMar's name came up, Phil finally stands up and lets the people know that he never knew what his mom did for a living, but her main concern before she died was that she wanted God to forgive her, but she never told her son what for. But now he knows. Phil then turns to Judy and says, give me back my mother's ring. So she takes it off and drops it. She was clowning that ring anyway. She never appreciated it. Anyway, Bishop then goes on stage and tells everyone the story of how he got the house. So basically, it's looking like Mac set this whole thing into motion, okay, including the fire, which is something that many of us suspected in the first place. Then Bishop tells the congregation that many of his sins caused the church to suffer and his family to suffer as well, because basically his motivation behind pastoring was all wrong. Now, I thought he was going to drop some serious bombs, but that was serious enough. Not really taking the walk seriously and doing it for basically a bigger, grander scheme of things, I guess, like money and stuff like that. Anyway, next, Grace catches up with Rochelle and asks her if they're done. Rochelle tells Grace that all she wanted was the truth, which she got today. Then Grace thanks her for giving AJ Noah's number. She tells Rochelle that she knows she did it to mess with her, but it turned out to be a blessing. Then Rochelle says, well, God can use anyone, even a mean old sinner like me. Then she leaves. Next, Phil tries to get Charity to meet up with him tomorrow. He also tells her that she didn't deserve what he put her through and that he loves her. But Charity says, Phil, no one has ever broken my heart the way you have, not even the father of my son. I will never trust you with my heart again. And she walks off. And I'm like, sorry, Phil, you should have opened your eyes sooner, bruh. Anyway, next, Grace is sitting in Darius's SUV and he tells her that CBS has aired Bob's sins, so he's stepping down from H&H. Then Grace grabs Darius's hand and says, thank you. Then they share a nice, lengthy kiss, okay? So I guess Grace doesn't mind the idea of getting back with Darius after all. And I don't either. Next, Lady May is in the room and she tries getting all sexy for the bishop, but she finds him in a terrible state, okay? He's almost in a frozen position with his Bible in hand and he can't talk, but he motions for May to get a pen. So she calls 911, then gives him a pen and he writes, I do. And she was like, oh, I do too, baby. I love you. So James starts to fall back and she's pleading with him to stay with her. And guys, this scene was a bit emotional, okay? Not only because I don't want the bishop to go, and I really hope he doesn't, but it was emotional because we just had a family friend who pretty much died like this, right? She was showing signs of forgetfulness, and one day she went into a store and was about to collapse, so they got a chair for her to sit in, and she was just out of it. And my mom was there to witness it, and she was saying, stay with me, but she never regained consciousness, and that was it. So Come to find out, she had a stroke with intracranial bleeding, all right? So she was bleeding in her brain. So guys, this was a very sad scene, and it pretty much almost had tears come to my eyes, you know what I mean? Because while I was watching this show, I was thinking like I feel like something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. And I really did not want the bishop to die. I really thought that maybe it was just gonna be his memory. You know, we got dementia setting in, but I didn't think it was gonna be anything like this. But Lady Mae did say, listen, we gotta get you to the doctor. We got to get you to the doctor. And he skipped out. And it's kind of like the same thing that happened with my mom's friend. Like, she was telling her, like, you got to get to the doctor, get yourself checked out. You know what I mean? And it was just a stall. And it's like, guys, I know this is a channel for entertainment, but sometimes when things are serious and I have the opportunity to speak to y'all from the heart and help give some information or motivate you in any way, shape, or form, I'm going to take it and I'm going to do it, okay? You have to take care of yourself. Me, I'm a mother. I have 4 kids, guys. I work full time, and I do this also because I love it. But guess what? I got to make sure that I take care of myself. I even put in my planner that I got to make a doctor's appointment for my annual this month, okay? You got to get your annual physicals based on your health, though. Like, if you're diabetic or something, you might have to see the doctor every 3 months, but you got to do it, all right? I know, especially us as Black people, we don't always, you know, go to the doctor the way we should. You know what I'm saying? And I also teach classes on breast cancer awareness. So a lot of times Black women, they don't find out that they have breast cancer until it's really aggressive and too late, like it's in its last stages. Because why? The statistics show that many Black women don't go ahead and get the mammogram like they're supposed to, or when they do get the mammogram, they don't follow up like they're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to waste you guys' time, but please hear me, guys. Take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you feel weird, you're feeling like for some reason you can't remember stuff, or you just feel off, you get dizzy, go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? It might be your blood pressure. There's a lot of things that you can be doing to prevent an impending doom. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could really save your own life by getting checked out. All right. So I really felt the need to say that. This is a show, but things like this happen in real life, guys. Take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying, ladies? Get your pap smears. Men, take care of yourselves. Get your annual physical, whatever you need to do. Get your prostate exam, your colonoscopies. You know, you got to get all those things. Make sure you get your blood work all the time. Yearly blood work or blood work every 6 months. Like I said, it's depending on your health, okay? Anyway, sorry for the rant, guys. Thank you so much for riding with me as usual. I want you guys to stay blessed, be well, take care of yourselves. And I do hope that the bishop is not dead. Like, please, okay? Is that the season finale? Because I didn't even see a preview for the next week's episode. Is that the mid-season finale? It must be, because we didn't see a preview for the next time. But we'll see, and I will be catching up with you guys in the next video. Take care. Be blessed. Bye-bye.